Hello and welcome to another wonderful talk at the Positive Future for Health podcast. I'm your host, Althea Finch, creator of the Pain-Free Method, how to be pain-free or symptom-free, chronic pain, long-term conditions free by tuning into you, by connecting to it. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to painfreedom.co.uk. And as well as teaching people my method of pain-free, I also host this podcast, and I really felt that gap between. I meet therapists all the time, and I felt that distance between people I meet who want help, and I can't help with nutrition or things that Annie's going to talk about. So I started the podcast a couple of years ago. And on tonight's podcast, we have Annie, who's going to be talking about being um, misdiagnosed and struggling as a young mum, and that's a challenging journey, and how that evolved for her, and what she does today to help others. So, Annie, can you tell us about yourself? Where did it all start for you?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. Um, I'll just kind of start from my teenage years, I guess, or I'll just go through my life. I'm 40,
Right.
by the way. Um, I'm not going to tell you all the boring things that have happened over the 40 years. Um, yeah, it's long.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So when I was young child, I was quite quiet. Didn't really make a fuss, and everyone was like, "Oh God, Annie's very, very quiet. She's such a good child. She doesn't make a fuss. She just, wake up and she'll just sit there." And I was quite good. And then my teenage years hit, and I was naughty. I was naughty. I
The
just
radar went like that, did it? Needle went like
Oh
that.
yeah, well, I was just I'd go have like a drink, and I just about the age of 14, like you kind of follow the crowd, and I definitely did that, and I found so much freedom in having a drink and just going out and what I thought was a normal teenage thing to do, and I had this kind of newfound confidence, um and yeah, kind of drinking and the naughty behavior through school. I did actually get through school. I got really good GCSEs. I'm quite clever in that sort of sense. But then I started going out partying, and then I hit about 16, 17, and I just felt this it was like a dark cloud. Um yeah, I was very lost. I was a very lost teenager. Like my friends kind of knew where they were kind of going. They felt quite confident in their jobs and stuff. But I just thought, like, something's really amiss here. And then there are stories about self-harm. I'm not going to like bring the mood down, but there was part of it because I felt very trapped inside. I was a very hurt, young woman at this time, and I used to hurt myself. And my mum and my auntie, who's here by the way, hello. Um, they were really worried about me, and they took me to the doctors, and they're like, "Come on, what's wrong with Annie?" Um, and my doctor was like, "Oh, it's teenage angst, it's just she's a little bit nervous and everything." So they gave me medication, um, lots of medication actually for a young lady, a child really, um, antidepressants, sleeping tablets,
Wow,
like an
you were
anti.
16. You were
I was
16
16.
when,
I was
wow.
16, 17. Um, Lots, so much. When I look back, I think, gosh, like I shouldn't have been um at work, really. The amount of medication that they gave someone who was developing, your brain doesn't stop, like your frontal lobe doesn't stop growing until you're 26. So yeah, I was taking a lot of medication. I really thought that was kind of the only way to kind of fix everything. Um, yeah. I was
That's good.
diagnosed.
That's the main way that we're shown, isn't it? That me too. I
I
wasn't into natural health in the beginning.
I didn't know about it. I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know that there was any kind of alternative. You're only sort of told one way. If you're not in that kind of circle of friends, or kind of, I say hippie circles. Sorry, I do say hippie circles. Um,
Hippie.
a
I've been
hippie,
in hippie
yeah.
circles.
Oh,
People call me a
yes,
hippie.
I call me a hippie. I'm a hippie.
We
This
call
is all
ourselves
hippie.
hippies
This is
tonight.
all hippie stuff, isn't it?
Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, I never saw another way. I had relationships, and then I had two children. So when I was 23, and then I had a little girl when I was 23. Um, beautiful little thing. She was 17 the other day. 17.
Oh,
I know.
uh,
She's taller than me. It's very strange. She's a lovely, lovely little girl. And then I had my son at 26. He's 14. Um, and I just thought, yeah, I'm a mum. Like this is it. This is life, you know. I should be happy. I should feel fulfilled. But there was a big, like, the way I describe it is a hole of blackness, like in the pit of my stomach that never, it was like empty. There was nothing filled it. No relationship, not alcohol, going out, you know, spending money. Nothing filled it.
what
Um,
do you think was going on there? Do you know what was going on with you, or is it just that's what it was? Or
yeah, yeah. I mean, I hadn't tuned into my inner hippie. um, you know, I hadn't tuned into the real me. You know, when you go to, I didn't go to private school or anything like that. I went to just normal school, and you're kind of told one thing. You know, you have a list of jobs that you get to choose from, and then you go to work and you earn money, and you're in this kind of little bubble. Um, and I really tried to follow that normal life, and I just didn't fit into it. I felt very misplaced through my whole life. Um, so yeah, just sort of fast forward a little bit. Medication. This whole time I was on different types of medications, a lot of medications. Um, you end up feeling numb. So it might take away the sadness, but there's no happiness in your life. You're just a zombie. You know, it actually got to the point where I would spend days just being a zombie. This is before and after having children. Um, I thought this can't be life. Um, I have spent time in, you know, some mental health units because of it. I just literally had like a breakdown, mental breakdown.
did you put yourself? Did you volunteer yourself to do that, or were you
No, they
advised?
put me there.
They put you
No,
there.
yeah. They were like, yeah, she's unwell. I was very unwell. You know, it's quite sad when I look back, and I have done some grieving for my childhood and my teenage and me as a young woman. I've done some grieving for that time because I feel like it was wasted, but then also not wasted because I'm here now sharing where I moved on and
Yeah,
where I can help others. Um,
totally. And sometimes that happens, isn't it? I see so, and me and myself did the same thing. That at the time it was blackness, isn't it? And
mm,
people go through terrible things and very, very challenging things, and life's not worth living even. But
no,
then somehow, you manage to crawl out of that or turn your life
yeah.
around to
Well,
something.
I just thought, oh, I'll just see out life because I'm a mum. There was no enjoyment. I just like, oh, I'm a mum, you know, that's fine. Um, so yeah, that you know, medication, things like that. Didn't know there was another way. And then one day, I'd had enough. And this is nearly 6 years ago, by the way. My husband reminded me there's actually coming up for 6 years on the 14th of February. And that was 6 years. And I was like, I'm not taking this medication anymore. I'm not existing. So I stopped. What I did do though, I carried on drinking. I used to drink alcohol as self-medication.
Mm.
Um, Again, I didn't really think had a problem with alcohol, even though it got me into a lot of trouble. And you know, I'd had some serious injuries from drinking. It took me another 6 months to actually realize, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I have a drinking problem. I'm an alcoholic. So I stopped drinking, and my husband put me in touch with a lady in AA. And I phoned her and I said, I can't do this anymore. I need help. It's either this or die. And it really was. You know, I was going to end up dead. And I threw myself into the AA program. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with AA steps and that
Cold
do the
sweats.
steps. Yeah, the 12-step program. Honestly, it's so you can it can be used in all different ways of life with every kind of addiction, you know, whether it's like the gym, not with me, I am not addicted to gym, maybe like some food or something, but anything that's kind of getting a bit unhealthy, you know, even if you're just
Yeah.
staying up all night binging, like that is not healthy behavior. So, you know, the
Yeah.
12 steps, if you live it,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's really changed my life. And I handed everything over to AA. I was like, I'm going to do this, and I did, and it
And so,
really.
sometimes it takes a crunch time, doesn't it? Like you can't take any more. I
Mm,
had the same sort of thing for different reasons that you get to a crossroads, it's like, right, it's left or right now.
yeah, yeah, you just got to hand it over, and you'll hear lots of different sayings in AA that have been sort of regurgitated for like 100 years, but it works. It works. Alcohol is a killer. It will take your soul, and it can happen at any age. And this is the thing. There's a lot of women in AA. This is Alcoholics Anonymous, obviously. A lot of women that go into drinking when they're maybe a little bit older, like when the children left home, or they've gone into retirement and they've got a lot of extra time on their hands. It doesn't mean that you're an alcoholic on the street. It can happen for women at any age. Um, yeah, I threw myself into that. And then after that, it's a bridge to normal living. So I stopped drinking. I was doing the AA steps, building a new life because it's almost like being reborn. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go back to my old life. It's just fresh. And I thought, right, what is it that I actually want to do? What do I want to do? And it was through lockdown at the time, and I started volunteering. I volunteered at a craft group, and I just volunteered. And then I met some people. I met a guy who was working for an advocacy charity, and then he got me in touch with uh, the charity, and I interviewed and actually got the job, and I'm still there. I've been there nearly 4 years, and I absolutely love it. The people that I work with they're beautiful people. They're all unique, and they've all had their own. I don't like saying ups and downs or journeys, but things that have happened, and they use their own experiences to help others. So I was doing that, and then I was thinking, right, I really love doing this. These people need this help, but I wish I had had the advocacy when I was maybe poorly, and it maybe would have pulled me out of it a little bit earlier. I don't know.
But how long did you suffer? What was when from that black hole time to when you got into these last 4 years of changing your life? What timeline was that of
So
recovery?
six years ago, 6 years when I was 35.
Mm.
So I had all my, younger years kind of taken, but I feel like I started my adult life at 35. I don't feel
Yeah,
like I feel like in my brain, I feel
yeah,
like a 16-year-old. I feel like I'm, well, 21 now, but I've, used those years to kind of grow.
yeah.
And what's great about being 35 is you don't really care what people think. And I look back at myself when I was a young woman, I think, ah, I used to cry about my body, and I was beautiful. There's nothing wrong with me. And I used to
I
cry.
know.
I wasted those years.
You look back at photographs, isn't it? But then,
Oh,
is it really wasted because you're the person you are because of it now, aren't you?
yeah. Yeah. But so I have two stepchildren as well, and they're beautiful human beings. So I say I'm like mum of four. So I've got two from my body, and then two that I haven't had to give birth to, but I've got the benefit of having two other children. So I
Lucky you got
like that.
double days.
Yeah. So we've brought the children up. They're all very confident. All four of them are very confident, and it's because we've told them that they're beautiful. We've told them, you don't have to go and work for someone. You can make your own companies. You can be yourself, and they've had the freedom to completely be themselves. And you know, one of them's at 19, got two 17-year-olds and a 14-year-old, and they're very individual, but they're very confident. And I think that is for us, putting what we've learned and guiding them through to adulthood. So, to sort of hand down that kind of knowledge rather than let them completely find their own way. They've had that kind of support from us, I think. But what was
Lovely.
I saying?
I homeschooled my kids, and I gave my kids a
Yeah,
free. I had a very strict upbringing, middle class family, and all that, and
yeah.
I wanted to give them lots of freedom. But my kids are the opposite. Said they want to go to school. Mum, we don't want
Did
homeschooling.
I? Oh, I'll have to
Can't
get my
win.
son. I'll have to get my son, the last one who's going to school. I'll get him to come stay with you for a little bit. You're
It's
like, I
funny,
stay
isn't
with
it?
God, Sophia.
Oh,
Um,
they go, oh, mum, we've heard that. No, mum, well, don't want to hear it.
yeah.
But you never know. But the dark time, it wasn't just the drugs, wasn't it? That was the medication that kind of sounds like it sort of
Oh,
stuck you in that
100%.
state.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was one time when I was very unwell and I was again like a zombie, and my auntie come with me to a doctor's appointment. And I was just kind of sitting there like absolutely glazed over. And they handed this massive bag of medication over. And my auntie, um, my auntie Sarah, she said, You can't send her home with all that. Like she was like really shocked that they were quite happy to give this to a young person or to anyone, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, I've just been used to this. And she was like, that's not right. But so yeah, I did AA, but at the same time, my mum was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And that was a massive turning point of where I was trying to look for what kind of, well, like me and my auntie kind of went on this journey of like what caused it, statins that masks the all the cholesterol in your body, good and bad. My mum was on statins from I think it was the age of like 31 or 32. So you think her
Wow.
brain had been starved of all this good cholesterol that we need. And again, when I started to look into medications and the things that the government, or not the government, I don't know if I'm going to say that, what we're
NH.
told that we
Come
should
on, this is
do.
our space. This is our
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm an anti-vaxxer, you know, tinfoil hat, loyal to the foil kind of person. And I felt that in my soul when I was a young woman at 16. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel right, but I kind of went with it. But I wish,
Me
yeah, I
too
wish I
says
put my foil hat on maybe a little bit earlier.
that's
um,
the thing. I felt something similar to you, though. I mean, I was put into a private school, which you'd think, lucky me, up the ladder and going to be successful in my life and all that sort of thing. But I didn't fit either. And
no.
I felt I was being, one day my dad sat me down and said, right, Althea, what are you going to do? Right, do you want to be an air hostess,
Hmm.
air stewardess, or
Yeah.
a secretary? And I was like, that's my choice.
Yeah.
And I,
But
you know, I
that's
didn't
the thing. We went. Sorry.
find I didn't find my career until I didn't think I had a career in it, but I did natural therapies all in my 20s, and then at 30 I thought, oh, I'm a natural therapist. But
Love it.
yeah, but not originally. It was just I was the I don't know, the floater, the dropout, the can't sort her out one. It's
Yeah, they kind of sign you off as like lost
yes,
cause, but
I
actually,
know.
we need to let our inner hippies out, don't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Wow. I mean, the
Oh,
world has really changed now, isn't it? Because you've got homeschooling in England
yeah.
at least.
Yeah, yeah. I I wish
Options.
I could have done that, but yeah, it just didn't happen. It's fine. But the thing is that like the children, they go to school and they learn what they need to learn to pass their exams or whatever, but they're also taught um holistic healing, that there's other, herbs, things that you can take. My son calls me a witch. I go in there with like the activated charcoal at the end of the day. I'm like, here, take this. And he's like, oh, mummy, you're a witch. Like, what are you giving me now?
My children think I'm a drug dealer. I've got drug
Yeah.
dealers. I feel like the
He's like,
herbalist,
what have
and
you put in my
they're
drink? I'm like, it's just some iodine. You're okay. Drink it.
what's plant medicine? I said, no, mum, it's drugs. I said, it's plant medicine.
You get in
Yeah.
trouble. Imagine if they went and told somebody. It's so funny.
It
But
is. So what did you say? The last 4 years, it's. I guess I feel like it was all brewing in there. Your inner hippie wasn't allowed out for years, and now it's all
no,
just gone.
no.
Bing. But what did you? So you started to realize in these last 4 years that you wanted to help people and advocate for them, people who were like you and stuck and didn't were lost. And how do you
Yeah.
do that? What's is it a training or is it your own course or how do you? What happens if you just
Yeah.
meet people?
We do training at work, and you learn from other people's experiences. And obviously, we've got our own like computer systems and things like that we have to, you know, put our
You say
notes
we.
on.
You say
Yeah,
we.
yeah.
You, it's
Sorry,
a social
the
worker,
charity that I work for.
charity, right?
Um, So yeah, we advocate for people, but some of those people, I don't speak to them about what I do. I will say, there are other options, like, and I will say, I don't go, I do this. I just sort of give them options, and then it's about promoting their independence. So they make their own choices. But alongside that, I was like, right, what is it that I want to do? And I thought, right, I've been into Reiki and things like that. I like, and I'd really got into like camping and outdoors, and
Mm.
felt very safe by the sea. I felt very safe, like looking up to the sky and feeling, I'm a tree hugger. So I will go
Yeah.
hug the trees.
I think you're
They've got
in
their own
under
frequency,
yeah, I
and
think
you
you're in a
join their
like-minded
frequency.
group here.
Yeah, we'll all go tree
Okay.
hugging.
Do
Um,
it. Lovely,
yeah,
lovely.
so I was like, right, I'm going to do a Reiki course. And there is a lady in Brightlingsea near me, Melanie, she's lovely. Me and my daughter actually went to go do it. So my daughter was 14 at the time.
Mm.
And yeah, I did my level one, and then sat with that for a year. I was kind of just doing Reiki on like friends, family, my cat. And then I was ready to move on to the next degree. So I thought, right, I'm going to do that. And then I thought, I'm really drawn to frequencies, like I'd listen to frequencies, and they'd help my migraines, and they'd kind of help with other pains in my body. I thought, right, tuning forks, let's have a look. And I signed up and did a tuning fork. It's called AccuSound. So it's like on the pressures of the body. And um, yeah, so I did a course in that, and I was like, yes. And I kind of merged the Reiki and the tuning forks together. And then I was like, right, I'm going to start my own little sessions. And then I just grew it from there. Um, and then after that, I was I was diagnosed with, being a very unwell person. I had a borderline personality disorder. And I went back and I was like, are you sure? And then I had an appointment, which I just thought was a normal appointment. And it actually come out that I was autistic, that I had an autism diagnosis, um, ASD. I was like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's that hole in my belly, that's kind of been missing. Um, so I kind of felt like it was a light bulb moment. Like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get why I was a weird kid. I
Mm.
get why I was quiet. I get why I'm weird now. It's fine. And you know, some people, probably you guys, autism, is it real? Is it not? Is it induced from vaccines when you're a kid? Maybe. I've looked into it. I was born in 1985, and there's a lot of vaccines that we were given in the 80s. I don't know, but I know what I am, so I go with it. And I know that people have been diagnosed with autism. There are a lot of ladies kind of feeling a little bit off, and they might feel that they're autistic or ADHD. I have ADHD as well. So whatever you want to call it, it's definitely a feeling, and it feels misplaced. And I thought, right, I can maybe help these ladies, that are waiting like 4 or 5 years for a diagnosis, that maybe they need a pill. But in the meantime, what do they need? They need to be rebalanced. They need to feel settled. Um, I've done sessions with people that have on the pathway, or they have ADHD, and they're like, thank you. Like, my brain is quiet. I don't know if anybody's heard of like the washing machine head. I describe it as
Yeah,
having,
yeah,
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 you know,
definitely
it's like
doesn't
listening
stop.
to,
People say they can't stop thinking, and
oh, it doesn't go away, even when you sleep. So I don't ever sleep properly. My dreams are so vivid. They're so real that, I wake up crying. I wake up really feeling the burden of a dream. Like if my husband's cheated on me in my dream, I'm not speaking to him. I'm not speaking to him for the day. He owes me an apology.
oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh
No, and
no.
I'm like, look, I had a bit of a bad dream. Like, I'll be all right in an hour.
So real though, isn't it?
Oh
Dreams that when
God,
you just
do
have that
you have
waking
that?
moment.
Do you
Yeah,
have
when
that as well? Oh,
sometimes I've had some full-on dreams of so real. I remember my
mm.
mum died one time, and I
Oh,
woke up and I was tears and I can't, what was it? Was it before she died? Or after? I think I think it was after actually, and I don't know, and but it was so real. And waking up, it was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
It's sometimes they're so real, and I do believe, and I'm very spiritual, and I do believe that when we dream, it's our soul going out of the body to get
yeah,
lessons, be supported, to help
yeah.
understand, do the lessons and whatever. So
I
I
think
do
so
believe it's
too.
real.
I
I think
do.
it's real.
Like
Yeah.
when my mum's got she's in a home now, bless her. She's got advanced Alzheimer's, so she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know who I am, hasn't known
Mm.
who I am for years. But sometimes when I go to sleep, I have very real conversations with her, very real. And I wonder if where her brain is like slowly dying and she's crossing over, and I'm meeting her there in the dream. But I like to think that I am. I
Beautiful.
don't know, maybe.
I think so.
I,
Lee's nodding as well. I would nod.
yeah,
So
I
yeah.
think when I die, I'm going to find out everything. I'm looking
See
not
you
looking
there.
forward to it too much, but when I go, I'm like, yeah, you know,
Mm.
I'm
And so,
gonna get the
and
answers
Sarah,
I need.
I think so. I believe so. And Sarah says dreams are our soul leaving on a journey. I
Yeah,
believe that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So there's you had this will to advocate for people, and you do it through your
Mm.
charity anyway, and then you offer
It's not
options
my
for,
chat. I work for the charity.
yes,
So just,
yes,
yeah, sorry.
yes, and then you offer options that you've learned that's helped you. So I guess you recognize the similarity of your path, and you were lost. You didn't know what you're doing, where you were, and then you see that in other people, and then you found the natural nature that was helping you, and so you give out that too. And the
Yeah,
Reiki, you do loads of things, isn't it? I was just having a look at your page. It's there are lots of things that you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I I think so. I do the Reiki, and oh, I'll tell you what. If anybody speaks to me and says, you know, I've been really upset, I'm really anxious, I'm this, I'm that. How can I stop it? And I'm like, you know, we're meant to have those feelings. You can't just be happy all the time. Like you're gonna be a bit sad sometimes. Um, and it's your body. You need to be sad. You know, just don't sit with it for too long. You know, I always think, right, when I feel a bit down, I'll go for a walk because I appreciate getting in. Even if the walk's really horrible, I'm like, at least I'm going to be happy when I get back. So just little things like that, because otherwise you can fester in your own, you know, your own space. It can get too
Definitely.
safe that you don't really push yourself or enjoy anything. That's what I think.
So it's sort of recognizing the balance, isn't it? Then so recognizing
Yeah.
and then having tools to help yourself when you recognize you're down or you're not quite right or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's so important. I think when you're in the depths of kind of depression, it seems so far away. But then when you kind of get out of that, that's when you need your little coping mechanisms and like your little things, even if it is just having a shower. And I know it sounds silly, but if you just go and have a shower and actually just feel that water and be in that little moment, even just for a
Mm,
second, it will just
mm,
take you away from feeling so down. And
yeah.
again, you're going to feel better after having a wash.
Definitely. Because I sometimes I think that the mind or the ego or whatever it is or that mood can kind of grip you and
Yeah,
it can feel
yeah,
like, oh, that's all you are. But
yeah,
then if just go, I mean, I certainly know, I work a lot and I'm a bit of a workaholic, I suppose. Um and I have to talk to myself like, go to the loo, go and have a cup
yeah,
of tea, go and
yeah.
have a shower.
Get
But
up.
what get up. And once I'm there, and then I think, oh, why didn't I do this 2 hours ago?
I
And the
know.
water.
I could have gone out and done something. I do that. I do it like um the shops are going to shut at like 5 and I think, right, I'm going to run up there. It's 4:15 and I'm having a lovely time. I'm like, oh, I want to do this like, you know, like what you said 2 hours ago and I could have had a nice day out. But
Yeah,
I'll
but
tell
that's
you
what
what I
it's
do
that's the
do. I
yeah.
do force myself to do things like that. So I used to leave all my washing up and I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to do that tomorrow. My life's very boring, by the way, right now. It's fine. I like boring. It's safe.
Aren't
Um,
we all a bit boring? It's all a bit regular and
no, I used to be fun. It used
washing
to be
up and
fun.
clothes. Okay.
But it's
Can have
simple and
fun.
it's fine. It works for me. But yeah, just say something like the washing up, and it seems so overwhelming. And I used to just leave it. But now I go, think about tomorrow. You're going to thank yourself. So I just do the washing up, and I get up in the morning. I'm like, oh, I've got a nice space to make my coffee, and yeah, and then but I do that with every bit of my life. So I'll even if I can't be bothered to do something, I'm not stuck there. I'll do 5 minutes of something, even if it's like a project or reading. And then when you go back to the project, it's not such a heavy chunk because you've chipped
Yeah.
away at it. I think if you do lots of like little things,
Hmm.
it's not so overwhelming. And that's what works with me because some days I don't want to do anything and my brain switches off. So when I get
Yeah.
those little bursts of energy, I make the most of them and get things done then.
But it's like almost like sort of talking to yourself, guiding yourself to be in a good space and place and feel
I
better.
have got friends. Yeah, but
I'm
it
sure.
is self-talk because at the end of it, and again, you don't know who is going to be around, relationships,
Yeah.
friendships, jobs, your home, if you're
Yeah.
renting or you mortgage, you don't know. But I think if you can keep your little self safe, you can deal with things. It makes you more resilient, definitely.
And there can be little things because in my world, with my clients, some people haven't been out of their home for a long time because of
Yeah,
anxiety, because of
yeah.
agoraphobia. I know that that's what I suffered way back when I was bulimic, and
Mm.
or paranoia and stuff like that. But these little things can just sit in the garden or just listen to a meditation or go and have the shower,
Yeah.
soak in the tub, cry. These
Do you know what
little
I used to do?
little
It just
tips.
remind me of something. When I was down, when I was like not going out, I used to do a to done list. So I'd do a list at the end of the day. I'd try and do as much as I could manage. And at the end of the day, it would be like, oh, actually, you brushed your teeth today. Um, you wrote something down, or, you made a phone call, all these little things. And I'd write it at the end of the day, and I'd be like, actually, I've achieved more than what I thought. Whereas
Yeah,
seeing a
yeah,
list was just so
yeah.
overwhelming back then, when you're in that little dark bit. But
And you
I
can
just
feel
wanted
like
to,
you can give yourself a hard time, isn't it? Oh, you're rubbish. I haven't
oh,
got anything.
yeah,
So
if you've
lazy or
got a
whatever.
to-do list, and that's what
Yeah.
people say, do a to-do list. And like, no, because then it's
Have a done
pressure and it
list.
takes the
I love it.
fun away. I'm going to go random today. Yeah, but you get more done. You do. I just wanted to mention this as well. It was kind of going back to that feeling when you're feeling a little bit down and upset and you don't really know why. And I think whether you've been diagnosed with this, that, or the other, everybody feels like that at some time. And I think it's important to understand that I personally think that we are in a world that's not built for us. It's gone too advanced, too quick. We're supposed to be in our little hippie communes and villages and
Yeah.
things like that, and a slow life. And I used to live in a caravan by the sea, and I've still got it. We've still got it. We will go and move back in there. I adored it. I really, really adored it. Um, I was like healthier, but I
Yeah.
had to move into Colchester. So Colchester is a city, and I'm in a block of flats, and I'm renting at the moment, and I love it. I really, really love it here. For the convenience and everything, and the children going to school and colleges. But I can feel everyone's energy, where everyone is on top of each other in the flats. We've got everybody's energy kind of disrupting mine. Internet, think about every single flat. You've got that
Yeah.
Wi-Fi coming at you,
Yeah.
interrupting your own frequency. Um,
Mm.
I have these little weird things on my phone. You guys probably got it as well. You know those?
Yeah. I've been.
Yeah, I have them.
Have you had a word with what's yeah, you can get these frequency things, isn't there? Where's my one? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look,
My
everyone's
phone.
holding up their phone. I love that.
Hey. So I'm
My
opening
little
up to question time, and please do ask questions to Annie directly. If you have any, you want to share something or talk directly, just wave your hand or put your digital hand up. Let me know if you want to have a chat or ask a question. We'll carry on waffling on, but do please just wave your hand and I can unmute you. Um, Sarah, yeah, please do go ahead. You unmute there. That's it. Whoops. I've muted you when you unmuted. Just click the same button again. I can't hear you. Just click the same button again. I won't touch anything.
On there. Right.
As you did. You did it.
Does that work? Wow.
Hello.
Gosh. And it was lovely to hear you. And it was so refreshing to know that I'm normal.
You might not be. No, I'm joking.
No, no, no. But it's a
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
no, perhaps that's the wrong way to say it.
No, no, our normal, isn't it?
It's all wherever it is. I'm just so pleased that how I, probably a lot of people feel that how you can feel that it's all how you're supposed to feel, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's it. And it was interesting you saying when you were 35, you spring chicken, because add 20 to that. I had my son when I was 40.
Did you? Oh
Yes.
gosh.
So he's now 16 and my daughter's 19. And I just think it's all, and I put my life in a different order. You obviously had your life
Yeah.
first, and then you found what you wanted to do. Whereas for me, I found what I wanted to do. I did manage to go to university on a Ben, which is a B and E and an N for near miss. So I didn't get the grades I wanted. I was wanting to go to do something higher up, but I ended up being accepted anyway. I went to university and I then interestingly, I went into pharmaceutical company, and we had cholesterol, and we had also, I developed a drug for HIV.
Mm,
So I'm in that camp. Basically, I
yeah.
don't believe what comes down from my doctor, and I resisted it. Oh, you're age 50. We've come for a vaccine. No, thank you.
No, thank you. What's in
No,
it?
thank you.
Yeah.
I it didn't even want, as soon as it came out, remember, and I thought, I smell a rat. How can
Yeah,
you
it doesn't
develop a
feel right,
drug
does
so
it?
quickly? Doesn't feel right. Not having licensed a drug and taken a drug from phase 2, first in humans, right the way through to phase 4, and
Yeah.
licensing a drug for HIV. I thought, I'm sorry, that is a virus. The HIV was a plant. And I look back on it and think it was. They're trying to mass depopulation. Anyway, we're not here for that. But it's just
I
like,
agree with you though. I
no,
absolutely
but it's
like a
everyone's got their own opinions, and that's what's important. They've got to do what's
yeah,
right for them, not what's controlled and what we're told to do. But
yeah.
yeah, I just really
It is
respect
funny when
you.
we find each other out in the wild, isn't it? We're like, "Ooh, have you had yours?" And everyone's like, no. You're like, oh, you're my people.
But I think the number of people that didn't, but then the number of people that did because they felt they had to.
Yeah, they were bullied and frightened. Yeah,
They
I
are, and
absolutely
then they're the
understand.
people. I think they were bullied and frightened, and now the people are just suffering from it. And I found that really hard. Anyway,
Yeah,
bless you. The thing is, just while you were here, and I just think everything you went through, and I just think, wow, hats off to you. Well done. And doing alcohol. You see, I
thank you,
didn't have
Sarah.
that. I was very blessed. And it was interesting. I got stressed. I divorced my husband. My children are little teenage mutants. Don't say what they are because this is recorded. But I love my children. My children are very bright and they're teenagers. And I think we weren't allowed to be teenagers. We were very controlled,
Hmm.
very controlled. And I think that's been brought up how you think you're supposed to bring up children. And now I'm realizing that no wonder my children give pushback, because today's life is very different to how when we were, well, you're a
Yeah.
young spring chicken, so I can't call you a wee, but how our generations were brought up. And it is fascinating. So anyway, I'm talking too much. Who else wants to have a word? I'm talking too much. Somebody else have a turn.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, bless you. So well done you for being such a brave lady.
And you.
We've gone
Thank
through.
you.
Well done.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your contribution. And we do have Sarah Dadvar on the call today, and she did a wonderful podcast with us. If you want to go and have a look at that afterwards, Alternatives to Prescription Medicine, dun, 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 with Sarah Dadvar. It's on the podcast at painfreedom.co.uk. So do go and have a look at that. You've just messaged now, isn't it, Sarah? There's a plant on our planet from God for every problem.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I, I
yeah, you do that, yeah.
I believe that. I'll always look for an alternative for anything before I take a painkiller. Well, I don't really take painkillers. I kind of breathe through it. I haven't had to take any painkillers or any other medication. I'll always try to find something. Or
Mm.
Sarah's my auntie, so I phone her a lot. And I'm like, what can we do? What have you got? Give it to me.
Auntie.
Yeah, she's my dealer. No,
Wonderful.
I'm joking.
Plant medicine.
Yeah. She wants to
And we,
talk.
yeah, well, we did have another guy on about all about CBD and all
Mm,
down that route. So that's on the podcast too, Rob. But Annie, so what are the sort of things that you offer them? So you do um um what did you call it? Advocating and nature guidance and Reiki and the tuning
yeah.
fork.
With my personal kind of business, I don't offer advocacy. That is my
Oh,
professional job, and
okay.
I keep them very separate.
All right.
So the advocacy is with the charity I work for, and it's called Bohemian Bloom, is what my company is called. So I do a mix of Reiki and AccuSound with the tuning forks. Um, and I'll kind of have consultation and I'll go through, if you want a hands-on method or hands-off. I prefer doing it mobile, so I prefer kind of coming to you and then you're in your space. So I do room cleansing. I can, cleanse the room before I get, before we start our session. I can do that. And then, yeah, you can do a quick session or we can have an hour, and I kind of go around you with my singing bowl, and then I check your chakras with my Tibetan bells, and then it's really interesting because I've got a I'll tell you about the session I did today actually. I went to see a lady and I checked all of her chakras, and it was her throat that was no, it was her third eye. It was closed, but all her other chakras, they were all open. She was very grounded. So I spent time kind of working on that. And then I used the tuning fork. And when I got to her feet, one of them was just because it vibrates, you hit them and then it vibrates. And I was putting it on her foot and it was just stopping vibrating really quickly. So obviously that part of her body needed that frequency, that vibration going into that part. So I was doing it. And I said, "Oh, have you got any problems down there?" She said, "Yeah, I've got sciatica in that leg." So it's really interesting when you go down and how different each client is. So I tailor each session to that person. And if you're neurodiverse, some people don't like laying down. They might sit up or lay on their side. So every session is tailored to them. It isn't set out how I want it to be. It's what you guys are comfortable with. Is that what you asked?
Let's say yes. And Auntie Sarah wants to have a word. So,
Okay.
Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, hello everybody. Hello Lee. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, go for it.
Fabulous. Okay. So Lee's my niece, and it brought back so many memories when she spoke about the time that it's quite emotional because I took her to the doctors because I thought she was just being selfish and playing up and naughty and stuff. And when the doctor gave her over 100, antidepressant medications, I could not believe that it was just
Shocking.
printed out in 7 minutes, well, less than that really, probably 2 minutes of, "Oh, you're back, Annie, and here's your next medication lot." And as you know, Althea, I'm a natural practitioner, so I do everything natural. And we have had a lot of disease and heartache in our family. And I'm actually very, very proud that Annie has really, sorry, I called her Lee,
Yeah, she calls me
that
Lee.
Annie has really
I got confused.
learned and become an amazing, lovely, beautiful human being through this. And I think we all have our journeys. And I think that's what makes us really special and really beautiful people, as are you, Althea, because your journey, and I've heard it many times, you're such a beautiful person, and
you.
you've been through so many things, and you've come out, and it was just amazing. So,
Thanks,
congratulations
sweetheart.
on keeping
Thank
all
you.
this work going. But I can certainly vouch for Annie. She's doing so well. Have I made you emotional?
Little bit. Stop it.
Sorry.
Made me
So
emotional.
yeah, thank you. And for Sarah, I think that you recognizing, even though you work for a pharmaceutical company, bloody good for you for not taking the vaccine. Well done.
Mm.
Well done. That's all I want to say, really.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for your contribution. And yeah, it's a journey. Life's a journey, isn't it? And it's just you go left and right and get it wrong, get it right, and two steps forward, one back, or whatever. It's just the way it is. And you know, you've come out of this, Annie, of developing all these different skills and being interested and drawn to all these lovely things and nature. I mean, nature's such a big healer, isn't it? Just to go for a walk, just be amongst the
Yeah.
trees or sit in the garden or something.
Yeah.
Like
That
listen
is
to the
important.
birds.
Yeah.
So important. And then so on your sign up page you put about what about this hippie style crystal shop? Tell us about this
Oh yeah.
space.
I love doing that. Yeah. So again, I was in that kind of, oh, what should I do? What should I do? Like, what do I like doing? I was thinking, I like trinkets and like those kind of hippie stores that you see and you see all the crystals and I've been into
Yeah.
crystals. I've got my own kind of collection from when I was a little girl. Um, and I thought, right, I'm gonna order some crystals and I'm gonna try and I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. So yeah, I ordered jewelry and crystals and like self-educated and learned all about them, how to take care of them and what to do. And thought, right, what can I do with it? And I started up just contacting local fairs and events like psychic events, market stalls, crystal events, mm, Christmas events, all things like that. And
Yeah.
I just have my little setup, and yeah, just some are good, some are really successful, but I meet a lot of people and a lot of children. A lot of children are really into the crystals, and you can just tell that
Mm,
they're going to be our little next generation of I call them
fantastic.
aliens, not children aliens. I think they're not meant to be here in this world, so I just say kind of aliens.
But
But
children
yeah,
do
I've
like
been
shiny, beautiful things, isn't it? I remember playing in the mud and making mud pies and mud dinners and with this sort
yeah,
of little
I did
saucepans
that.
I had.
I did that. I used to eat it. There's photos of me like black
Yeah.
teeth. But that's probably, and this is really interesting, it's serious. When you're little, you're probably missing a nutrient that you need. So that's probably why
Mm, mm,
you want to eat it, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I
I
do my
mean,
little stalls. I
yeah.
do my little stalls. I've got an event coming up in Frinton actually on the 31st. I'm going to put that link on my Facebook. I only do Facebook. I kind of come away from social media. But yeah, I'm doing a event where I'm just going to do some mini Reiki sessions and sell my crystals. So I'm looking
Beautiful.
at that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so what do you do normally? You're still at the charity, but where do people come and see you? You mentioned about traveling around and traveling to people. Do you have a space? You have a space somewhere, don't you? In
Yeah, no,
Colchester?
I use my auntie Sarah's treatment room. It's in Colchester, based in Colchester, and I have another space that I rent a room. Well, I can rent it hourly in the tree room in Colchester, but I do it mobile, so I can go to you um wherever. Most people that I've seen have been local people, but yeah, I'm happy to travel. I'm happy to, go and meet new people and work together with people. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
So people can come and get in contact with you through
Yeah,
the links through your Facebook and
yeah,
can you just say the name of your Facebook so people can look it up? I'll put it with this recording in
yeah.
the
So it's
show notes.
Bohemian Bloom 2222.
And to get in touch, to either you come to them or they come to Colchester or come and see you in
Yeah,
Frinton.
yeah. I'll be in Frinton. I'll be doing that. Um,
Mm.
but yeah,
Is that a weekly? Is that a weekly event? That's just the
no, no,
31st.
these are all kind of sporadic, which fit in great with me because I have football mum. Have to go to. I've got two boys that play football, so I have to. I'm cold in a field most Sundays, but yeah, I just do different events. So I just go and have a look for local events, and just go to them. So it's not anything regular. I don't know. I do like regular, but I feel like where my head is goes everywhere. It's kind of exciting to do different things and have that mix up. And that was where
Hmm.
when I was reevaluating, I thought, oh, do I want to be in an office or do I want to be out and about? What do I want to do? And I thought I don't want to be in one kind of space. So that's why I like mixing it up and
It's a
doing
good
the
thing to
event.
plan like that, isn't it? What do you like? And as you say, that harks back right in the beginning, isn't it? I mean, I was sort of shoehorned into a shoebox as well, and
Mm.
it just didn't fit. And it's almost
Oh,
as if somebody said that I wanted to do the opposite. And
yeah.
so saying, what do you want? Do you want to be here? Do you want to be there? Because many times I'm working with people and or just friends, they say, oh, I'm all over the place, or I can't sit still, or I need to be outside. Well, do it then. What are you waiting
Yeah, go
for?
do it. But if you don't know, you don't know. And this is the thing, like what you said, or what do you want to be? And I remember trying to fit in that corporate world. I
Yeah,
really tried hard and I was good. I was a great office worker, but it only lasted 3 months. For some reason,
three
this
months.
3 month thing, and I would burn out. I would, really be completely exhausted. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't fit into, I was a recruitment consultant and I loved it. I didn't I burnt out. I didn't do it.
Mm.
But this is the longest job I've had, and I think it's because it is
Mm.
diverse and um
It
yeah,
fits you.
I enjoy doing it. But I need
And that
my own thing on the side. I
okay,
think you need to do something for yourself. So I've got my job and then I've got my Bohemian Bloom Annie bit on the side.
fantastic. And Lee, do you want to come on unmute, Lee? I just did that for you. She said thank you. Lee says thank you for sharing. It's great you found your way doing what you love. Absolutely. I think that burnout, that was your inner guidance to say, no, not that.
Stop
I
it.
mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with you. You're clearly clever and able and have desire for whatever you want to do. So that's not
Hmm.
the missing bit. The missing bit is that direction burnout. I always think, people get depressed or unhappy with their lives or something. Yeah, good. It's
Yeah.
showing you not
Yeah,
that.
you need to shake it up a bit, but just not
Stoke it
sit
up.
in that, don't sit in that down bit too long. Like, might be something, and this is it, like with the Reiki and the healing, it could just be a blockage somewhere, like an energy blockage. So
Exactly.
if you have like regular Reiki sessions just to kind of unblock everything, then your
Yeah.
body starts to do what it needs to do.
Yeah,
You
exactly. It's not
yeah,
about putting out fires or suppressing yourself, which is what we're
no.
taught in the West with the drugs and stuff. It's
Hmm.
not about that. It's about tuning into that and put yourself into the shower, into the nature, into go and do your Reiki, as Annie says, and through this loving, supporting, nurturing experiences, then you can start to bloom, and you'll think, oh yeah, I don't like that. I want to do this or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's through these beautiful techniques and things. And there's lots of compliments coming through. Well
yeah.
done, Pixel. Who is Pixel?
Do
Pixel
I
says,
get to
well
read
done.
these ones? I want my
Yeah,
ego,
yeah, you can
massage a little bit,
absolutely
maybe.
do it. So at the bottom of the Zoom screen, if you click on the chat, and then you can click and see all the chat going on. And Sarah says, thank you, Arthur and Annie. Really enjoyed the podcast. And do we have any more questions before we're going to come to a close very soon? So do ask your last questions, everybody. If you want to come on and share your experience, perhaps, or what you've got from the podcast today, and if you want to say something or speak to Annie. And Liam says, brilliant podcast. Your wife, you got your family.
Yes, he's here. I have
Fantastic.
been giggling because I could see my teenager's face in the thing, and it made me laugh a couple of times. My daughter's here.
Brilliant, brilliant. Aren't they wonderful? Aren't we lucky to
Yeah,
have children?
and
I'm
and
so,
do you know
I'm so
what? They've
grateful.
they've been such a great support. My family have been really, really great. They come to the events with me, and they've been really, really supportive. So thank you to
Amazing.
everyone. My family
And your
are.
And your
And my
husband said
husband.
so proud of you. And Rose says, thank you both. A great podcast. And Lee wants to have a chat. Go for it, Lee.
Hey,
And
Lee.
did you find getting your diagnosis was helpful to you?
I thought it was just an appointment. I didn't really realize what it was because I'd had so many mental health appointments. So I was really, really shocked. Yes, I do. I do think it is. But I think what's more important is having the strategies and things put in place before. So if you think that you are, you probably you might be, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But if I knew what I knew and I had somebody kind of to guide me through it, I don't think it would have made any difference.
No, because I just sometimes think, I mean, we've got a very neurodivergent family, and there are some, some have been labelled because we ended up using the school system, but I didn't want to. But
Yeah,
for myself, I kind of think, well, and I've often thought this about them, that it feels as if it was needed by a system that wanted to put you in boxes.
oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
We are
But
who we are. And
yeah,
that who we are. And I
yeah,
just don't know if I just kind of, I mean, people say things about me, and I just think, yeah, okay, but like, so that's who I am. I mean,
that's fine.
do I need a label? I don't know. I just,
No, I don't think. I just go with what feels right in your belly, you know. I think. But my son hasn't had a diagnosis. He is in the school system, but I've known that he's been maybe ADHD from a young age, and that's when I started putting in strategies for him because I didn't want him to have any struggles when he was growing up. I wanted to understand his ways, and then I understood myself. So, helping him taught me um, to have patience, should I say? I don't know, maybe. But yeah,
yeah,
no, having a label fits in with the system. What benefits are you going to get with the system? I think you'll get the help that you need, like for exams and stuff like that. But I think if you're open, like in this sort of world, I don't know, neurodiverse or are you just a hippie? I don't know.
yeah, I kind of sometimes just think, like, why have we got to this stage of needing
Labeling
to label each other? Yeah, it's just like, what's wrong with just kind of accepting, well, this is
that
me.
people think differently. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, there's lots of things I can't cope with. There's lots of things in life I can't cope with. I don't do busy shopping centres. I can't stand the bright lights
yeah,
centres. There's noises I can't stand, and it's like, and I just think, well, that's me. I don't like
yeah,
sitting hemmed in. If you go somewhere, I like to be on the edge, or I like to sit on the floor. I like to say what I like to do, because it works for me. And I sometimes just think, I wish that we had a world where we could just be ourselves without somebody needing,
a
like,
label.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's really good. Like you just listed off a load of things that you recognize with yourself, and that's where I kind of try and speak to people and work out where they're comfortable, what helps them. You haven't got to go along with the crowd. You can just be
Be you.
on the edge if you want, if that's where you want. You don't have to fit in with that.
No.
But yeah, I love it. I love how different everybody is. I find people fascinating. I love the way the brain works. And yeah, I just like working with different people that think like an alternative way and you can learn from them. Like, I've learned so much. From Althea, from my auntie, from my husband, children, and I guess, you guys as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lee, for your contribution there. And yeah, this label thing will really hang around me with my daughter, for example. And she wanted to get diagnosed for dyslexia. She thought she had dyslexia, and I was terrified of her having a label. But
Mm.
in the end, I mean, the school offered it, and I was just as I thought, the next thing is labeling. She's going to have that label on her record all the way through. And are they going to give her drugs next? So yeah, I was very resistant. So, because I know other people have, and I'm not up
Yeah,
for the drug side of things. So it
no,
turns out that I do events and things myself, and I met Sue Cook. I don't know if you know Sue Cook. She did a talk on the podcast, Brain in a Jar, with Sue Cook, and
yeah,
she diagnosed my daughter brilliantly. and gave her what to do about it. Because apparently, even if when you get diagnosed, sometimes it's just a diagnosis, and the
Oh
only
yeah,
option
that's it. It's just a
yeah,
label. It's not. Sorry, I'm gonna have to plug this in. This is it. Like, do you need it? Well, how is having a name gonna help? You still have to put
oh,
things, and that goes for like physical stuff. Sorry if I've cut you off. I get very excited. But even for physical
we're
stuff, you're waiting for an appointment. Well, in the meantime, what else could you be doing? If you're using holistic therapies and alternative therapies, is that going to damage you? No. Your body will only take in the good. Um, rather than waiting a year to get help, there's other alternatives out there.
absolutely. And Sarah says, I'm not labeled, but I feel exactly like Lee.
Yeah.
And Pixel says, right, is Pixel your husband? Is that who's
No,
Pixel?
he's
It's
Liam.
lovely.
Liam's my
Oh,
husband.
Liam. Okay. And yeah, nice pictures from your family, from your daughter. So yeah, it's but I mean, I was my daughter diagnosed by Sue Cook, who was absolutely brilliant, brilliant with children, and it turns out that the school knew all about it. And I was advised to let the school know, and things changed for her. They gave her more time for exams.
Yeah.
They gave her more time before the blackboard the white screen thing is, they when they understood what her diagnosis was, like anybody else in the school, they gave her support, which was I was amazed. I was really amazed, and it was really good, and my daughter was happy about it. Not that she wanted to take any support whatsoever. That's the teenage thing took over from there, but that she's happy, so I'm happy. Um, Okay, so we're going to bring it to a close then. Annie, thank you so much. That's been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much, and for all your family too.
I
And
know, bless her.
yeah, and
That's
everybody and everybody's questions. And if you do want to find out more and get Annie's help and go and have a chat too, if you're feeling this is resonating with you, get in touch. Get in
mm,
touch. And it'll be in the show notes below. So there are lots more podcasts. Do sign up for the next podcast at painfreedom.co.uk. And at the top you'll see the podcasts up there. So Annie, I always like to leave my guests with the last word. How would you like to leave everybody today?
oh no, don't. I feel like I have to go out with a serenity prayer or something.
Do it, whatever you like.
Um, okay, no, I'm just gonna say be true to you. Be true to you. If something doesn't feel right in your belly, don't do it. You know, go with your gut. I think that's what just come to me. Yeah, be true to yourself.
Fantastic. So I'm fighting a cat off here.
Ah,
That was absolutely perfect. Perfect. Love it. So thank you for joining us, everybody, and for all your questions. And thank you so much, Annie, for sharing your wisdom and shining the light on how to help people. And do get in touch if you want Annie's help and find out more. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful
thank
evening.
you.
Bye for
Bye,
now.
everyone. Thank you so much.